as a young black boy, you have to work harder. And most important, you're not afforded any mistakes. You're not afforded to make any slip up, because if you slip up and you make a mistake, then it'll be hard for you to get back up.
Hi, lollies. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda's channel. Thank you for all the love and support. Don't forget to please subscribe to this channel, turn on notifications so that anytime I upload videos, you'll be the first person to be notified. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of ours. You guys are the real MVP. So lovelies, I came across this video on my For You and I thought to share. I thought I might even comment late. There is this controversy within the NFL and Shedeur, controversy on the social platform, him not being drafted on time. That, caused a lot of, controversy on the social platform. People like these guys. NFL is being so racist. Guys, I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thoughts on this.
So we're out here doing all this work to make sure our young black boys are visionary, self-assured, confident, going as far even in Shadeur Sanders' case to practice their autographs at a young age, because we know the work we're going to put in. We know what we're going for. And what we saw with this year's NFL draft pick in terms of the response to Shadeur Sanders' pick and his timing was that it is indeed a crime to be an uppity Negro. No, I don't mean a legal one, I mean a public one. And while I am no NFL expert beyond studying the Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl halftime show, I can smell when people are upset about uppity blackness, especially rich uppity blackness, from a mile away. Especially that desire to humiliate a young black boy who has not done the started from the bottom now we hear journey that most people are comfortable with. Am I talking about the real business football concerns that different members in the NFL might have about Sanders as a player? Absolutely not. We're not tackling that. Sure, he opted out of playing in the Shrine Bowl and, said, I'm not going to necessarily participate in some drills done at the combine. It's totally fair for industry experts and league evaluators to go, we wonder how he'll play out as a quarterback in the locker room, right? We think his throw is good, but not great. We're loving his accuracy and his timing and the way he pulls certain things together. We have questions about XYZ. That's totally fine. This is a business decision and you are allowed to do that. And no one is crying racism because of that. We know he started all 4 of his collegiate seasons. We know his second school, the one at Colorado, retired his jersey along with another person. And of course, his dad is not the only person behind that. There's no way he could pull that off. Sanders has been noted to have an accurate deep throw. It is a plus, not a minus, that his father, Deion Sanders, has been there to help him and give him advice. And there was a reason that even President Trump himself tweeted that somebody better pick this guy if they want their team to win. And there's a reason that he was predicted as the NFL's #1 draft pick. It's been reported that some of his NFL interviews went really well and some didn't go as well. And there's a whole discussion here about how Sanders refuses to code switch, but how he tries and talks about trying to keep things as professional as possible while remaining true to himself. Participating in the NFL draft when you've been told you're going to be the #1 pick, when you have a wealthy family and doing a custom room, a chain, having a big celebration, what is wrong with that? What is arrogant about that? The feedback and shock that we saw around him having to wait so long to be drafted was not to do with necessarily his plays or his stats. It had to do with how people felt about his wealth and how people felt about how he carried himself. I saw some gleeful, embittered, angry comments that had absolutely nothing to do with his game. There was all this talk around arrogance and just over-the-top confidence, and I went and I checked out his page expecting some loud-spoken, brash child, and what I found was a soft-spoken, confident kid who has an awareness of all his different entrepreneurial pursuits and seems to be very grateful for all he has. What I found was that people seemed shook that a rich black kid with a rich black family from a dad who has been in this industry for a long time was acting like one. I found all over his Instagram this community of people who were really proud of the different partnerships he was working on and the work he's put into his own craft. They are happy to see this legacy and this brand continue, this kind of vision in this particular young man. Black boys in custom chains and nice cars with nice houses is fine to a lot of people, as long as you start with a distance and a story of struggle and pain. If you're never see, if you look around glad and frightened to be there, they see us and they're uncomfortable and they want us to be uncomfortable too. I am not seeing insufferable, unearned swagger. I am seeing someone step into his inheritance. And when he did not get his way, and he had humiliating rounds of going from #1 draft pick to sliding all the way down to the final day, what did we see? People from their comments seem to be expecting a hissy fit, somebody crashing out. No, we see someone thanking God and thanking his family for the opportunity to even play the game and be here. This obsession with making young black boys grovel at the feet of like white corporations, that's something I thought we left behind with the Michael Orr mess. And he even said he was horrified to look back at how people had changed his story to be how he was like this mute and brutish animal who couldn't play football and didn't know anything until the white people saved him. I have more to say about the stories we want to squeeze out of young black men, but until then, keep your chin up and your chain on, Mr. Sanders, because I'm glad to see you win in this case.
And I heard that Shedeur got prank called and they pretended like he was getting drafted. I knew the people that did that was going to be WT. I don't mean to make this like a racial thing, but I just knew, because we don't play like that. This young man has not done nothing to you. This young man has not bothered you in any way. This young man has worked hard at his craft, and now it's time for him to get what he has been waiting for, which is to get drafted. And you think, you and your lame friends think it's okay to prank call him. First off, how'd you get his number? But y'all think it's okay to prank call him and pretend like he's getting drafted at that present time when he wasn't. How much of a loser do you actually have to be? And the reality of it is, everybody knew he was going to get drafted. Everybody was surprised that it was as late as it was. But at the end of the day, everybody knew that he was going to the NFL. He's too talented not to be drafted at all. And God don't play like that. Like, God don't like ugly at all. And that was ugly. Like, that's genuinely just ugly. You have no reason to be doing this. You don't know this man. This man ain't did nothing to you. But yet you still feel like this is going to be so funny to play with somebody's feelings like that. Why? You could be doing something that's so much more productive in your own life, but instead you took out the time to dedicate to this man that you don't know, to find his number, then call him, just pretend like he's getting drafted just so you and your friends can giggle about that. Like, that says more about you than it does about him, because at the end of the day, he's drafted now. So he's going to the NFL and you're still on that couch.
The Shadeur Sanders prank call saga has taken so many turns the past 24 hours, and now we have an idea of what happened. Now, the initial story that came out is that the daughter of a New York Giants GM had the phone number and it somehow got to her boyfriend, allegedly this person with the Ole Miss jersey. That was debunked very quickly because it was actually this guy over here, Jax Ulbrich. Of course, he got a fraternity photo. Now, if the name sounds familiar, that is because his father works for the Falcons. Jeff Ulbrich, defensive coordinator. Didn't we just hire him like this year or last year? Bro, the reason why this whole thing is a big deal is because the phone that Shedeur had, that phone was provided by Boost Mobile, and that was solely for the draft. The only people that have the phone number to his phone are the executives in the NFL, the GMs, the owners, the coordinators, defensive, offensive. Why can I say offense today? So for this to happen, this was a no-go, no bueno, so much so the NFL is investigating. Now, Just Ulbrich posted this on social media after deactivating over the weekend. You can pause to read. You also have the Falcons releasing a statement. What's being alleged is that Jeff's son got the phone from an open tablet and got it from there after visiting his parents. It's the unintentionally came across for me. Will Jeff see consequence? I have no idea, honest. I do think there'll be stricter rules for all teams when it comes to contacts and phones to drafting. And Shedeur is, already on a team. He got drafted to Cleveland Browns in round 5. Also, this isn't the first time this has happened before. It's happened in years prior. There's apparently like a second one that happened with someone allegedly trying to prank call him from the New York Giants. But yeah, way to embarrass the family, bro.
Yo, watching this Shadeur Sanders situation had me thinking, what's happening right here is a public embarrassment, not only for Shedeur, but for Deion Sanders and the entire Sanders family. And what the NFL is doing is saying, listen, if you want to mess around and be arrogant and be cocky and know who you are in essence, then we're going to deal with you. So he is pretty much being used as an example to anyone, not anyone, a black person that if you know who you are, if you're confident in yourself, then we're going to find a way to put you in your place and put you in position. It breaks my heart to see him go through this in such a public way, but it also reminds me of what I've recently told my son. I have a son who's 11 years old. He's going to be 12 in June. And I sat him down, unfortunately. I had to sit him down and say, listen, you know, as a young black boy, you have to work harder. And most importantly, you're not afforded any mistakes. You're not afforded to make any slip up, because if you slip up and you make a mistake, then it'll be hard for you to get back up. In the NFL, we had a father who sat here and said, my son's not playing for your team in Archie Manning, but he got drafted. So miss me with all this Deion Sanders stuff and he should stay out of his son's business. Nah, this right here is the NFL sitting here and reminding us of who is in control. I am not a race baiter. I am not one to pull a race card. Everything is racism. That is not me. But I have to admit, and we have to be real, there is inequality in this world. There is a lot of racism in this country. And this reminds us of who we are in their eyes and who runs everything.
Max Ulbrich just released a statement apologizing to Shedeur Sanders after prank calling him during the 2025 NFL Draft weekend.
We're going to take you with our next pick right here, man.
This ain't gonna be nothing there.
But you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, man.
He posted on Instagram, Friday night, I made a tremendous mistake. Shedeur, what I did is completely inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. I'm so sorry I took away from your moment. It was selfish and childish. I could never imagine getting ready to celebrate one of the biggest moments in your life, mistake, and messed with that moment. Thank you for accepting my call earlier today. I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me. For those of you guys who are unfamiliar with this dude, he is the son of Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich. The Falcons got wind that he was involved, and they released a statement of their own. They were on to say how Jax came across Sanders' information in an open iPad while visiting his parents, so he wrote down the number to conduct a prank call later. Jeff was unaware of the data exposure, and he was unaware of the prank call as well. He was only notified of the prank call and the data exposure after the fact. I want to say Atlanta Falcons do not condone this behavior and send our sincerest apologies to Shedeur Sanders and his family, who we have been in contact with to apologize to, as well as facilitate an apology directly from Jax to the Sanders family. We have been in contact with the NFL and will continue to cooperate fully with any inquiries we may receive from the NFL League office. We are thoroughly reviewing all protocols and updating if necessary to help prevent an incident like this from happening again. Now, I'm curious to know what you guys think regarding Jax's apology. Do you guys accept? I'm honestly curious to know if there's going to be any repercussions for Jeff. I know they said this all happened unbeknownst to him. Let me know down in the comments how you guys feel. Peace.
Hey, yo, Jax Ulbrich, you know you done effed up, right? I said you know you done effed up, right? You thought you were hilarious sending a prank call over to Shadeur Sanders. You thought that it would be hilarious. The lulls would never end. Well, 2 days later, we know it was you. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I wouldn't want to be Jeff right about now. Oh, who is Jeff? That's your dad. I would call him the Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator, but I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't know how much longer he's gonna be in that position, bud. And whose fault is that going to be? Whose fault is that? The irony of you hating on Shedeur Sanders, Deion Sanders' son, only for you to be the reason why your dad likely winds up jobless. It don't pay to hate, y'all. It just don't. Let this be a lesson. You play stupid games, you win nothing.
So I just seen that video about Jax Ulbrich, the son of the Atlanta Falcons coach, Jeff Ulbrich. And I'd seen about him apologizing to Shedeur for prank calling him and trying to make him think that he was being drafted when he wasn't at the time. I see that the son is playing the white fragility card. Oh, it was a harmless prank. What's funny about playing with somebody's livelihood? Throwing rocks and then hiding your hand is genetically on script for white people. But I can't really put into words and contextualize how much of a scumbag you gotta be to just make a joke of somebody's livelihood like that. Not to mention, you only apologizing because you got caught. So really, fuck your apology. I think Shedeur and all them niggas should jump you. But you always gotta remember, if you black, you a criminal. If you white, if it was an honest mistake. The fact that he had easy access to even get Shadeur's number like that just makes me feel like his pops didn't even give a fuck about it happening. And the only reason why they addressing this shit is because they got caught. And of course you got white people in the comments trying to downplay the severity of the situation, and it's just like, damn, this is the son of a coach in the National Football League. It looks completely unprofessional, and it looks like he has no control over his household. So the last thing he should try to have control over is an NFL football team. So understandably so, you're going to have ignorant white people in the comments trying to downplay the severity of it. But just because you hate Shedeur and don't care about how he feels doesn't mean everybody else feels that way. Stream Bookie Woods and fuck you if you mad.
This particular NFL Shedeur controversy have actually been of a talking thing on the social platforms, where a lot of people actually believe that this young black man, who is actually very talented, was supposed to be drafted, but they did what they know how to do best. Not only do they do that, the son of the man who's supposed to be working for this actually have to prank call this young man, mocking him, in order to feel that he has been drafted when he has not been. Like, the thing is that these people actually derive joy from the frustration of people that looks like me. They know exactly what they're doing. They know that this guy is not feeling it. He is in a very bad state, and they go as far as to pull this prank just to make him feel some type of way, just to make him feel that, okay, even if you know that, or even if you think that you're too good, we are still going to break you into pieces. We are still going to cut off all your shoulders. Like, this is exactly what being a black person means. This is exactly what being a black person means. And I commend the fact that this situation has actually made a lot of black people to actually come to realization that especially their sons, need to work twice as much. Like, it's actually an eye-opener to actually, educate its sons, try to make them realize that, okay, these people, they are not to be trusted. You are required to even do twice as much, because if you fumble, they are going to fumble you. Like, they are looking for every given opportunity to bring you down. Even if they know that you are qualified, they will still look for ways. This whole thing with NFL and what have you is happening everywhere, in every administration, even if it's in the movie industry. Is it in the healthcare system? Like, is it in the workplaces? Like, no, when they see that someone that looks like me is striving, and they see that you are beginning to pull more weight, they look for every possible God-given means to bring you down. And I was so disappointed to actually see some stitches from Black Brothers talking about how 50-something% of black people was all employed and working for this NFL thing, football. I'm not really someone that is into that, but with what I have seen on the stitches, and they were like, oh, why are people complaining and all of that. This guy happened to be very good at what he does. So what is keeping him from being drafted when he was supposed to be? What was keeping him from being, if not exactly what everyone knows it is? But some people are saying that, oh, you shouldn't be racial about it. This is not all about race and like, come off it. People don't feel comfortable when they see that someone that looks like me is winning or is talented with something. This is not the first person that they have to drag this way. This is not the first person. This is not even going to be the last. But this is just maybe something like an eye-opener. Oh, not even that, because black people already know this. Their eyes are wide open. But I think
is a means of buckling up the more, because the one ahead is even worse. Like, and the fact that these grown-up MF people decided to pull a prank on him, how were they even able to have access to the phone to do all of this? And what you get is apology. Like, these guys will intentionally do something and apologize. You've already done what you want to do. You've already fulfilled that urge of that desire to humiliate someone. Your apology makes no sense. Why will you apologize when you know exactly what you are doing? You know vividly what you are trying to do. At a vulnerable state, you just want to like pull that prank just to make him feel more miserable. And you are out apologizing? Like, seriously, lovelies. Anyway, lovelies, and just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. Please subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that.
Thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So if you've not subscribed to this channel, do your girl a huge favor to click on the subscription button, like, and I'll see you lovelies when I upload the next one.